John, we have a whole bunch of questions that we want to ask you.
Right.
I mean, obviously, we've seen so much of you in action on this show, in the House, leading it all. But we've got a button in case you go on for too long.
Yes.
John did record this earlier tonight. It sounds like this. I mean, that word being said that way has got its own round of applause. So, listen, I'm going to conduct this in your fashion. I've got robes on. Yes. I'm going to ask these guys to stand up if you've got a question, and I'll go to the right person. Yes, the member for Middle-earth, Josh Whittaker.
Do I stay standing?
You stay standing, ask a question.
If you had to rank the 4 Prime Ministers that you were Speaker for, in order of who you would most and least like to self-isolate with for 2 weeks. So that's Brown, Cameron, May, Johnson, if you weren't aware of the 4.
Yes. I think I would most like to self-isolate with Gordon Brown.
Yeah.
And I would least like to self-isolate with David Cameron.
Really? Why David Cameron?
Well, I'm sure he's got a very great many merits, but thus far they've been fairly effectively concealed from public view.
The honourable member for Banterbury.
John, what I want to know is, have you ever deliberately passed over someone trying to ask a question because you thought they were a bit of a bell end?
No. I passed over someone wanting to ask a question because that person has asked several questions in the previous days and therefore has been adequately or overexposed. And I think, well, I'll give that person a miss till next week.
So you liked everyone? Even Michael Gove?
Well, I don't want to be fussy or pedantic, but I wouldn't have called Michael Gove very often to ask a question because most of the time he'd managed to get a place in government, so his responsibility was to answer questions, which he did eloquently, often at considerable length, and usually in a rather oleaginous fashion.
That's a very good answer, John, and midway through that I realised how out of my depth I was.
The member for the Dagenham Massive.
Thank you, thank you. Where is Theresa May hiding?
Well, I think she normally sits on the 3rd row back on the government benches.
Oh, she's still in there?
She's still a member of the House of Commons.
Oh, OK.
Yeah. I haven't seen her recently.
No, I didn't.
She's been there, but I've not been.
OK.
So I wouldn't have chanced upon her.
I have a question. The Speaker doesn't normally ask a question. So both you and Priti Patel have denied allegations of bullying. Should we believe both of you?
Well, Priti can answer for herself. As far as I'm concerned, I've never bullied anyone, anywhere, in any way, at any time. But I have had to put up with some very reactionary and deeply snobbish people with an agenda of their own. And I suppose if they want to pick an argument, it will be my responsibility to confront them with the facts.
OK, good, because I thought you were saying you're going to duff them up behind the bike shed. That's not going to help them.
Another question?
Josh, do you have another question?
Yes, obviously we're all delighted that Boris Johnson's having a child. Quick question. How many Father's Day cards do you think he's going to get this year?
Well, that's an extraordinarily good question, to which, probably, as I'm so unpractised as a speaker in answering questions, I have not the foggiest idea of the answer.
I've got another question for you, then. OK, so you set the record. You went the longest without going to the toilet.
Yes.
How long was that?
14 hours.
14 hours?
I sat in the chair without going to the loo from 11:30 in the morning until 1:30 a.m. the following day.
What? How did you do that?
Well, it's an act of will, John.
You should tell people at home you will get cystitis.
Well, I was told by a doctor in the house that it was inadvisable to do it on a regular basis, and I said, no, but I'm safe because I'm doing it on an irregular basis.
Well, we've got a bit of a memory test for you because clearly you need to know every MP's name.
Right.
And Josh...
You knew every MP's name.
Yep.
So, because you'd have to shout them out, all of them, from recognising them, and their constituency.
Right.
So we thought we'd test your memory now. If you come over here...
Yep.
I've got a quiz for you.
And I've got a trophy. If you win this, you'll be winning the Golden Bladder.
Here we go. John Bercow. If you'd like to take your seats. OK, so, in the time, I have 10 faces here.
Yep.
I will give you the golden bladder if you get 7. Should we say 7?
Just the name or the constituency?
Oh, we want the constituency as well, John. Come on.
You are a hard task.
I am a hard taskmaster. Right, you ready?
Yep.
Bit of tense music, please. OK. Face number 1.
Bambos Charalambos, Labour member for Enfield Southgate.
Correct!
Thangham Debonair, Labour member for Bristol West.
Correct!
Peter Bone, Conservative MP for Wellingborough.
Great. Can you say Peter Bone again?
Peter Bone.
Thank you!
Jacob Rees-Mogg, Conservative member for North East Somerset and Leader of the House.
Yes!
That is Liz Saville-Roberts, who is Plaid Cymru member, I think, for Ceredigion.
Oh, I can't give you that. No, it is for Die for Merin.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yes, that is Angus Brendan MacNeill, the Scottish National Party Member of Parliament for Enhelion and Yar.
Yes! This one?
Well, that is almost certainly a
Just so you know,
predecessor of mine for Buckingham
Yes!
in a previous century.
Yes.
But
It's
I know
John
not
Hubbard,
which century.
Buckinghamshire, 1859 to 1868. This one?
I haven't the foggiest idea who that person is.
These two to win it.
Oh, yes, well, that's Gunnosaurus.
Yes.
And Gunnosaurus is the Arsenal mascot.
Constituency?
The Emirates.
Yes. I'll give you that.
Yes, I can't say I know who this estimable individual is. I obviously should, and it's...
Do you want to know? It
I'm
is
a reprobate for not knowing, but I
Peter
don't.
Andre of Abs North.
Really
Right, you've got 7, you've done it!
Well, that's all last week for you after the break as we find out which old white guy's going to run America next. Plus, we want to know what songs should we sing while we wash our hands. Tweet us at The Last Leg. Use the hashtag #CoronaSongs. See you in a little bit. She said, here's my card if you ever need a one-legged stripper.
Have you got that card?
What was great was watching Alex on the red carpet.
This girl went to me, oh, Alex, can you sign this for me? And then she went, actually, can you sign this?